finally bought a house. I posted a photo of it. I'm very proud of us for finally pulling the trigger. It took 3.5 years of overthinking and prepping. It took about 6 to 9 months of dilly-dallying with lenders and realtors, and about 2 actual months of work once my credit was fixed to look at houses, make offers, submit paperwork, put the down payment in, and sign some paperwork with an escrow officer. A lot was learned in the process. A lot was learned about how this made others perceive their relationship to us, both professionally and personally. Probably the most emotional challenge as a business owner has come from me working in the real estate industry, and there only being so many people you can hire to do a real estate deal with. The reactions from past clientele, current clientele, vendors that I think were surprised that I didn't choose to work with them on this. It was overwhelming. Our photo post had over 4,000 views. It had a lot of shares, which was surprising to me because they weren't reshares to congratulate us publicly. A lot of these were sharing as a direct message to another account. So the biggest thing I learned in this process is you cannot make everyone happy. I can't make everyone happy in business, and that's a good thing. I had some people that in the last 3 to 4 months did not like who else I worked with, and they canceled their working relationship because of that. The reason why we've been willing to work with competitors in the past is that we have a very abundant belief that unless two people are literally fighting for 51 and 49% of market share, it's a bit more of an ego game than anything else to think that we're doing a similar service to your competitors is somehow going to have ill will. If you look in politics, there's a lot of people that fund both sides. If you look at the best softwares, no one really gets bothered that someone else has an iPhone. Yet they all have iPhones. I think in the industry, when software like Zillow comes out or any of these other platforms, it's acknowledged that if it works, do it. And the bigger picture was we chose to work with Mike Magno because genuinely, at the time of making the decision to do anything transparently, even talk through the real goals and start to make a game plan, was about 1.5 to 2 years into my business. He was actually the first person that ever engaged and asked what we needed help with and made a genuine effort to help. And I know it's surprising to say that. I was 1.5 to 2 years in to being in the real estate industry, going to real estate networking events, writing captions for realtors for an affiliate magazine. People just didn't ask. Maybe it was they thought we were poor. Maybe it was they didn't think we'd be qualified. I guess you never really know why they wouldn't ask. The people that were frustrated, I understood why. I didn't communicate what I was doing until I did it. And I think sometimes that's necessary in business, but there is an actual cost of that, which is you might piss off a lot of people because they have a belief of your timeline. And if your timeline breaks that, it's going to lead them to question what their own timeline was with me. And that happened. A lot of phone calls this weekend. These aren't phone calls I had to take. These are phone calls I chose to take because I would have felt very guilty letting a relationship end on that note without me having the decency to call them and actually have a real conversation. So there wasn't all of this frustration and misunderstanding of the situation. So I also had a lot of people call me to let me know that there was drama and to let me know that people had negatively spoken about this, showed frustration, or wished that I had stayed silent entirely. But in the process of it, I had a lot of people that actually said some very nice things. Someone I look up to tremendously said, "Hey, listen, it's not about the house. I'm happy you did that. It's about the other thing where the communication gap was missing." I had some people that said, "Hey, being authentic is working. Everyone's talking about you. The advice you would give to me is double down on it." Hence, we're in the garage. It's 10 p.m. We're making a video for the YouTube tonight. I think the bigger thing I want to share is that there were probably 15 people, both lending and realtor side, that I could have closed eye, went like this, and got fucking awesome service and found a great deal. And I'm sure that most of them would have had us looking at this one that we're in right now today. So I don't want people to take this as there's only one that works. I'm going to say a couple other things. I hang out with and have clients that buy a shit ton of real estate. So you guys have to remember, you see your clients buy a house 7 years, 14 years, 20 years. I plan to buy a lot more houses than that. Okay. I have a client and good friend, Steve Yoke, who buys a lot of houses. I have wholesalers that are constantly sending contracts out for people to buy a lot of houses. I have real estate teams where they are moving 50, 100, 250 houses per month. So I see that buying houses isn't this crazy game that people make it out to be. And because of that, I'm very grateful I did this first one, but the feeling has been very fleeting. The feeling has been very underwhelming. I love that the dog is chilling over here and that I can take some treats right now. And we have the room for him to just kind of hang out and have a good time. But I also still see that the net worth is a lot lower than I want it to be. The business is not making the revenue. I've allowed myself to make it for about 4 to 5 months now. And the services that I was so terrified of offering, they're now survival services that I'm realizing as AI contracts, it gets tighter and people feel the squeeze and inflation skyrockets and we just start printing more money and inflation gets worse. People need everything. We launched our Facebook ads offer. It's early, but it's working. We launched our funnel building service. The automations are allowing a lot of our clients to sleep at night. They don't have to always be married to their phone. They actually can remember their children's name and they go to the baseball games and they take the time off. And the content's been interesting because so many people are now seeing it that it's this living thing, right? It's not me, it's not the client. Their content is its own thing beyond both of us and how we work on it. And it's always a cool moment to get there, but then it becomes a third party. And it's that's the fun of the game that I started with this business. In the process of that, I had 2 very cool calls that I wanted to go over. The first one was with a guy that I work with who owns a huge multifamily rental portfolio. He has a construction company. He made a statement that he doesn't want to affiliate his way to the top. He's a damn good business owner and he wants to be able to market his services and he wants to get the revenue without needing other levers to turn. And I was going to host an AI event, or I'd been waiting to host an AI event for somewhere else for so long. I realized there were a lot of handouts given to me and a lot of backdoor handshakes that I'm beyond grateful for. And I still like the people involved and I have no ill will or negative relation, no bad things have happened. But I had to reflect and look at why am I waiting on these other companies to give me a chance to do this when I have the camera. My distribution on a shitty reel is better than any in-person event I could throw. And if I'm going to make an in-person event, let's be real, guys, I'm making it for the content of it. It's not for the 14 people in the room. Yes, they're going to walk away with value, but no, that wasn't the highest value for me, was just the room. It's what comes after the room. The second big thing I've learned is being ahead is, at this point, barely being on time. I got to fly with a good friend of mine and client Kurt. Kurt is growing his team in a way that's unfathomable right now, faster than I think he would have wanted. And he's also dealing with a lot of life stuff. Family gets sick. As business owners, we all push ourselves. I was like, how do I get this guy to be authentic, but also prep the world that he does a lot more than just this little home inspection company. And so we went in the plane. I got to fly in this little 4-seater out of Burke. We got to wrap around probably the coolest storm I've ever been in a plane to see, go to Columbus and then come back up. And, Kurt said something when we were doing our video shoot where he's like, you have to be early, just like in this plane, just like in business and just like in life. You can't wait until the last moment. In that moment, I was thinking of how many things I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on buying the second property. I'm waiting on going all out with the ads offer. I'm waiting on thinking my AI offer has to be perfect to help anyone when people are begging for help with it. I'm very excited for everyone to see the house series because I think it's going to wrap a lot of that up. You're going to see me go through a lot of that growth and a lot of those ugly conversations and playing the fool. At the end of the day, I started this company because I thought if I asked enough of the right questions, people would pay me money. And if I were around enough money, questions would get better, the money would get better, and it would be kind of a snowball effect at a certain point. And so while I still think we have a lot more hill to tumble down, I want to thank everyone that's watched these videos. You guys are the reason why these show to business owners and those business owners get a chance to work with us. We get a chance to create all the cool content we get to create. If you're this far in the video, I'm excited that you just saw the intro chapter. I have so many things I'm excited for. We've got the team, the resources all being built to do way more on the content side for not only us, but others. And we have a lot of partnerships, Shot a banging castle video with Sunny the other night. Dave Stokely bought a castle down right on the Mohican River and turned it into the School of Sorcery. As close as you can get to copyright with Harry Potter, that thing is, it's a real Wizards Airbnb. Did some drone shots, Sunny got a lot of detail, and we're forcing Sunny to delegate. I'm gonna let the team splice and chop, show him that, it is possible to let us edit his content, maybe even edit some of his clients' content. Dave is going to get some way better video than what I was going to pull off with this gimbal that we're talking with right now. Sunny has an eye that I don't have. It's very awesome to now have a network of people with that eye. And I look forward to a lot more of the partnerships starting. I look forward to a lot of the projects I can't talk about because of NDAs right now and just being in the building phase of it versus the clapping, patting on the back phase. So guys, I can't wait for the house series. Thanks for doing the quick solo cast with me. I appreciate everyone that listens to this. I'm excited to get started on showing you guys how we turn this place into a cash flowing machine here in the 44102.